Good morning, students. So, good morning to all of you. Today, I want to present my lecture on cassava and tapioca, the production technology of cassava and tapioca. So, both are tuber crops. So, first we will see the tapioca. So, botanically, it is Manicot esculenta, family of Euphorbiaceae family. So, the tapioca is a important crop, mainly in the raw material for starch industry. And in tapioca, the adventitious roots are modified into tubers. And so many value-added products are made from tapioca, glucose, vermicelli, etc. So it is an important crop to resist the drought and adverse conditions. And in two types of tapioca are there. One is branched one and another one is non-branched type. Whereas the hydrogen cyanide content is there in tapioca, very little amount 0.2 to 0.77%. So regarding so many varieties are released from different institutes. So in our Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, they have released 4 varieties in tapioca from Co1 to Co4. Whereas the Central Tuber Crop Research Institute, they have released H97, H226, 3. So the regarding varieties, TNAU, CTCRI, as well as others, they are released. Next. So the Co1 variety released from TNAU, it is a clonal selection with a yield of 29 to 30 tons per hectare with a duration of 8.5 to 9 months. Next. Co2, it is a open pollinated seedling progeny with a branching type, and the tubers are compactly arranged, brown skin with a creamy white rind and a creamy white flesh, good for table and starch industry. Almost the yield 35 to 37 tons per hectare with a duration of 8.5 months. Then the next variety, Co3. Next, it is also a selection from open pollinated seeds, but it is a heavy branching type with a duration of 8.5 months, 42 tons per hectare, dark brown skin, and yellow is white ring. This particular variety is resistant to cassava mosaic virus. That is the very important disease which is attack the tapioca, and the starch content of 35.6%. Next, the variety Co4. It is also a clonal selection, duration 8.5 months with a yield of 50.6 tons per hectare, and it includes 45% more than Co3 variety, the starch content of 40%, and the hydrogen cyanide 38 microgram. But this variety is susceptible to cassava mosaic virus. Next. So in a tapioca research station, Mulluvadi, Salem, they have released one variety MBD1 with a yield potential of 34 tons with a duration of 9 months, the starch content of 35.6%. And another variety released from Kerala Agriculture University, the variety called Nidhi. It is a short duration cultivar, the duration of only 5.5 to 6 months. And this particular variety is recommended for paddy fallows. So paddy after this tapioca variety. Next. So the CTCRA variety, the important features, H97, it is a drought tolerant, whereas 165, popular in industrial belt, the starch content of 33 to 38%, H226, popular in industrial belt with a starch content of 28 to 30%, and Sri Sagaya, it is also a high yielding variety 35 to 40 tons, hardy and highly resistant to drought conditions. Sri Visakam, it is also rich in carotene content with a yield potential of 36 to 38 tons per hectare. Next. So Sri Prakash, It is all your early maturing type, 7 to 8 months, and shallow bulking. And Sri Harsa, it is a triploid tapioca variety, high starch content, 38 to 41%. And Sri Jaya, it is also the Sri Jaya and Sri Vijaya. Both are early maturing type, 6 to 7 months. Whereas the Sri Rekha and Sri Prabha, it is suitable for cultivating in upland and lowland conditions with a yield potential of almost 40 to 48 tons per hectare. Next. So these are all the pictures of Sri Prakash. So almost black to brown color tubers. Then Hutch 226, somewhat yellow color. Whereas in Sri Sagaya, somewhat orange color. And Hutch 165 also somewhat light orange in color. Next. So Sri Jaya and Sri Vijaya, both are early maturing type. The Sri Vijaya is somewhat yellow. Sri Visakam and Sri Harsa, both are suitable for upland and lowland condition. Orange color, almost resembling like a carrot. And Sri Harsa is a brown skinned cultivar. Next. So regarding the climate and soil, it is a crop with withstand high temperature, almost of 35 degree, whereas the optimum temperature for growing is 25 to 29. And from sea level up to 200-meter altitude is best for its growing, from humid region to semi-arid region. And this tapioca crop also sensitive to frost and low temperature. And regarding the soil, light sandy soil is best suited with a pH range of 5 to 5.7, 5.5 to 7, and clay and saline soils are unsuitable. So light sandy soil is best. Regarding the season, it is grow in rainfed as well as irrigated condition. So rainfed May, June and September, October, whereas the irrigated conditions May, June, September, October, and another season is August. Next. Regarding the propagation, it is propagated by cuttings. Technically, it is called as sets. 17,000 sets per hectare is required for planting. So almost the sets are prepared by the middle portion of the shoot, 15 centimeter length with 5 to 6 buds. And the selected mother plant is mostly cassava mosaic disease free mother plants. That is very, very important. And the basal ends are dipped in azospirillum phosphobacterium at the rate of 30 gram per liter for 20 minutes, as well as dipping in carbendazim solution 1 gram per liter. For rain-fed crop, the superphosphate slurry treatment is best for planting, and also set treatment by a mixture of potassium chloride 5 gram per liter, micronutrients, because the tapioca also susceptible to nutrient deficiency. So zinc sulfate and ferrous sulfates at the rate of 0.5% for 20 minutes. Then after that, the tubers are used for, the sets are used for planting. Next. So normal practices, the multiplication ratio is 1:10. Next. So this is the traditional multiplication technique, almost 15 centimeter length of sets. It contain 5 to 6 buds. Next. So nowadays, the mini set technique is a popular one for tapioca, so that we have to avoid, or we have to the wastage of material. So that is very, very important. First, you have to select the disease-free stems, and 2-node cuttings are best. So the cuttings are sprouting in the nursery beds, and after sowing, so rowing of unhealthy plants, because of it is susceptible to cassava mosaic disease. So that rowing is very, very important. Then the sets are transplanted to the main field at the age of 1 month, 30 days. The healthy crop with high multiplication ratio. So the mini set technique, the ratio is almost 1:60. Whereas in the traditional technique, 1:10 ratio. So mini set technique, 1:60. Next. So this is the ratio. So for mini set, only two nodal cuttings are best. So it will occupy more area instead of very lengthy cuttings containing almost 5 to 6 buds. So we have to avoid the wastage of planting material. Next. So the preparation of mini sets. So almost we have to select the middle portion of the shoots, and from that we have to select only two nodal cuttings. That is enough for planting. And almost it will root, and the leaf formation is quickly. Next. So the tip and node cuttings also used for propagation. So this is the two noded cuttings. So it almost it form leaves and roots. Next. So you have to prepare the nursery buds in the shaded house, almost convenient length with a 15 centimeter height and almost 3 feet width. Nursery beds are prepared and the mini sets are planted in the rows. Next. So the horizontal placing of the mini sets, so that completely covered with the soil. Then the auxiliary buds are in the upward direction. Next. So tip cuttings also used for propagation purpose, and for irrigation purpose we have to use micro sprinklers. Next. So the sprouted mini sets, after that we have to roguing for the cassava mosaic virus infected plants. So that is very important. If any plants is affected with the CMV symptoms, immediately that plants will be eliminated from that area. So that is very, very important. Next. Then weekly spray of systemic insecticide, dimethoate at the rate of 0.05%, and the mini sets almost 3 to 4 weeks old mini sets are there in the nursery. Next. So the main field preparation, we have to form the ridges and furrows with a spacing of 75 by 75 centimeter. Next. So the mini sets are carefully uprooted with the help of shawl. So the roots are not damaged, and it can be carefully lifted from the place. Next. So 30 days olds, almost the mini sets are having roots as well as the pairs of leaves. So this is suitable for planting in the main field. Next. So planting in almost for row to row spacing 75 by 75, whereas plant spacing so 45 centimeter, sometimes 20 centimeters are also adopted. Next. So field establishment. Next. 2-month old and almost 7 to 9 months old crop ready for harvest in the field. Next. So for the mini set techniques, almost we have to use the planting material 70 hectares can be planted. Whereas in a normal traditional technique, only we have to use 60,000 planting material. So that is the major advantage. The multiplication ratio is almost 1:60. Like regarding planting, almost the main field are plowed 3 to 5 tons with the incorporate 25 tons of farmyard manure. Then basal application of NPK at the rate of 45, 90 and 120 kg per hectare. For rain-fed crop, 50, 65 and 125 kg of NPK. The inter-row spacing 75 by 75 centimeter, whereas the branching type somewhat wider spacing 90 by 90 centimeter. And care to maintain the polarity of the seedlings. The buds are in the upward positions. The position is very, very important. Then irrigated immediately, and also the 30 day live irrigation should be given. Next. So this is the cassava planted in the main field, established well. So after cultivation, we have to thinning the sprouts, only 2 per set. So gap filling. So intercropping with because of it is a long duration crop, so that the intercropping with the onion, groundnut and black gram is used in the interspaces. Then top dressing with 45 kg of nitrogen with 120 kg of potash on 19th day after planting. As well as for rain-fed crop, the biofertilizers Azotobacter 2 kg along with farmyard manure 20 kg with the soil also 20 kg completely mixed well, and it applied to the plant 30 to 60 days after planting. Next. So earthing up during the early stages only. So because of your tuber crop, the conversion of roots as tubers during 19th day. That is the critical period of growth. And regularly the irrigation is done once in 10 to 15 days depending upon the soil moisture availability. Next. So intercropping. So the companion crops also onion and black gram and sown on the other side of the ridge. So suppose we have to plant groundnut used in flat buds and the thinning of sprouts after 20 days. Next. So I already told the tapioca is susceptible to micronutrients, so that we have to remove the micronutrient deficiency as and when, so that normally the iron and zinc is the common nutrient deficiency. So the leaves are pale green and yellowing, so that we have to control by foliar application of 0.5% zinc sulfate with 1% ferrous sulfate on 16th and 19th day after planting. And so we have to crop groundnut planting in the tapioca area. So application of gypsum is must. Intercropping with groundnut, otherwise the symptoms of chlorosis develop. Next. Regarding the plant protection, in tapioca, it is the mites can be affected with the loss, some of the crop loss. So it can be effectively controlled by dicofol at the rate of 2.5 ml per liter, third and fifth month after planting. As well as the white fly. So Bemisia debasi, so it is causes serious loss in tapioca. So the IPM practices is very effectively integrated pest management. So the remove the alternate weed host, Abdilon indigum, as well as incorporated yellow sticky trap, 12 numbers per hectare, and use the application of nitrogen judiciously, so that we have to avoid. Regarding the diseases, so cassava mosaic diseases, so we have to select the planting material from healthy plants, as well as we have to control the vectors, whitefly. So that the above practices, we have already discussed the IPM practices, yellow sticky trap, so that it will be effectively controlled the whitefly. Then Cercospora leaf spot, it can be controlled by mancozeb at the rate of 2 gram per liter, twice at 15 days interval, effectively check the diseases. Then another one is tuber rot. This can be caused by stagnation of water in the field. So we have to give good drainage facilities, as well as immediately after these symptoms appear, copper oxychloride is drenching at the rate of 2.5 gram, or the biocontrol agent Trichoderma viridi at the rate of 2.5 kg per hectare as basal, as well as third and 6 months after planting. Regarding the harvest and yield, because of it is a tuber crop, so the tubers are underground parked, so that the visible symptom of maturity is the cracking of soil surface, as well as the yellowing of leaves is the symptoms of maturity. So at that time, we have to pull out the plant. First, 1 to 2 feet from the basal stem, we have to cut the crop. Then after that, the tubers are separated without any damage. Before that, slight irrigation should be given 1 or 2 hours before harvesting. And almost the yield level 25 to 30 tons per hectare for rainfed crop, whereas in irrigated crop almost 35 to 40 tons per hectare. So these are all the production technology of tapioca plant. Next we can move to another crop on potato. Next. Okay, the next crop is on potato. So it is also a tuber crop. Botanically, it is called as Solanum tuberosum with a chromosome number of 2n4x48. So potato is an important starchy food crop, almost grown in subtropical as well as in temperate region. So in a tropical region, it is grown during the winter season, and the potato is occupy largest area in the world. It produces more food per unit area than cereal crops. Next. Almost in Tamil Nadu, it growing in the hilly areas of Western Ghats and parts of Krishnagiri district. So almost Ooty and Kodaikanal, as well as the part of Krishnagiri district. Next slide, please. So almost the composition of potato crop: moisture 77.2, phosphorus 40.3, crude protein 2.8 gram, starch 16.3, minerals 0.9 gram. It is rich in potassium 568 milligram, vitamin C 25 milligram, ascorbic acid 17 milligram, then calcium 7.7 milligram, whereas carotene 24 milligram with a calorific value of 76 to 528 calories per 100 gram. So it is a very calorific rich fruit and uses human consumption as well as animal feed. And we have to extract high quality starch, alcohol, glucose, pectin and sugar syrup. And the potato is also used for making frozen French fries, chips, dehydrated flake powder, canned potatoes, shreds, potato flour. And the sun-dried potato is also very famous, dipping in 0.5% solution of potassium metabisulfite for 1 to 5 minutes. It prevents the blackening. Next. So regarding the origin, South America, Peru, Chile and Bolivia is the origin of potato, and introduced in India's late 17th century, and 3/4 of the area is occupied by Indo-Gangetic plains, October to March, and the remaining area is peninsular India and North Indian Himalayan hills, July to December. So it is a tuber crop. Almost the underground lateral stem arise from the tubers. The stolons are originated from the eyes or buds. The tip of the stolon swollen due to the accumulation of starch, and the top portion of the plant is called as haulms. It is erect in habit. So regarding the varieties, it can be classified into table purpose as well as processing purpose, early, medium and late season varieties, and varieties suitable for chips making as well as for French fries. Kufri Chandramukhi, then Kufri Bukraj, then Kufri Bahar, Kufri Lalima, and Kufri Badsa and Kufri Senduri. These are all the early, medium and late season varieties. For chips making, Kufri Sipsona 1, 2, 3 as well as Kufri Himsona. Whereas for French fries, Kufri Surya and Kufri Fraisona. Next, almost these varieties are released from Central Potato Research Institute, Shimla. It is located in Shimla, Himachal Pradesh. Kufri Chandramukhi, it is also a early maturing variety suitable for preparation flakes, flour chips, French fries and dehydrated products. And it is grown under the warmer areas of central plains with a yield potential of 20 to 25 tons per hectare. Next, Kufri Javagar, it is also a early mature variety and ideal for cultivation in Haryana, Punjab and Gujarat. It can produce to 25 to 30 tons of tubers with medium white, round oval with fleet eyes and pale yellow flesh. Kufri Asoka, it also cultivated in Bihar, Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. The yield around 20 to 25 tons per hectare, white oval with medium deep eyes and white flesh. But because of this variety is susceptible to late blight diseases, because of the early maturing nature, it escapes from the disease, late blight. Next, Kufri Gyati, it is also cultivated in the northern plains, almost 25 to 30 tons. The tubers are medium white, round oval with medium eyes and white flesh. Kufri Surya, it is also suitable for northwestern plains, both for Rabi and Kharif seasons, produced 25 to 20 to 25 tons of hectares, pale yellow flesh. This is a heat tolerant variety and can be grown in areas having the night temperature of above 20 degrees centigrade, as well as field resistant to hoppers. Somewhat, then the next variety, Kufri Lapkar, suitable for cultivation in the region of Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, with a yield potential of 25 to 30 tons, medium white round with fleet eyes, suitable for flakes, flour and chips preparation. Next, Kufri Jyoti, it is also a medium season variety, moderately resistant to early blight, suitable for preparation of flakes, flour, chips and dehydrated products. Tubers are medium, white oval and white color flesh. Next, Kufri Bahar, it is also cultivated in the northern parts of India, almost 30 to 35 tons per hectare with a medium season variety. Tubers are large, white oval with medium deep eyes and white flesh. Next, Kufri Lalima, this variety almost red skinned potato. These varieties are almost the color of the tuber is red skin, capable of producing 30 to 35 tons per hectare. The tubers are medium large, red round with deep eyes and white flesh, moderately resistant to early blight. Then Kufri Sadlaj, it is also cultivated in Bihar, Haryana and Madhya Pradesh, 35 to 40 tons. The tubers are attractive, large, white oval and white flesh, moderately resistant to late blight. Next, Kufri Pukraj, it is also suitable in growing in northern parts of India, 35 to 40 tons per hectare. And this particular variety is oval in shape and resistant to early blight and moderately resistant to late blight. So that is the important character of this variety. Kufri Anand, this is also growing in Uttar Pradesh and neighboring state. It is a high yielding variety and resistant to late blight and tolerant to frost, used for preparation of French fries. Next, Kufri Arun, it is also a medium variety, cultivation in northern Indian plains, red colored skin variety, resistant to late blight and tolerant to frost. Next, Kufri Arun. Kufri Sadabahar, it is also a high yielding variety, 35 to 40 tons, resistant to late blight and tolerant to frost, and having high dry matter, and it can be used for preparation of French fries. Next, Kufri Sinduri. It is a late season variety suitable for Gujarat, then Jammu and Kashmir, Maharashtra, Punjab, and Uttar Pradesh. Then 35 to 40 tons per hectare, moderately resistant to early blight and has slow rate of degeneration and possesses long tuber dormancy. It is also tolerant to temperature and water stress to some extent, suitable for dehydrated instant flakes and canning potato. Next, these varieties are suitable for making chips. Kufri, Chipsona 1. The tubers are acceptable chip color from 90 days maturity onwards. The 110 days grown crop keep well at 10 to 12 degree for 4 to 5 months with respect to the chipping quality, chips. The variety has excellent keeping quality. Then Kufri Sipsona 2, it is a hybrid cross between CP2346 crossed with the QB bar B 92-4. Plant with medium compact canopy and white flowers, brown white cream tubers with shallow eyes and creamy flesh. Almost 250 to 300 quintals per hectare yield with resistant to late blight. Next, Kufri Sipsona 3. It is a cross between Sipsona 2 crossed with the MP bar 91-86. Plant with medium compact canopy and white flowers. The tubers are ovoid in shape with medium deep eyes and creamy flesh. This also resistant to late blight, 350 to 400 quintals per hectare. Next, the Kufri Himsona, the plants with medium canopy and purple flowers. So round oval creamy white tubers with shallow eyes and cream pale yellow flesh. Almost 250 quintals per hectare with a important character of resistant to late blight. Next, Kufri Fraisona. This variety is a medium compact and light red white tip flowers, oblong to long white tubers with shallow eyes and white flesh, with a yield potential of 350 to 380 quintals per hectare and resistant to late blight. And in TNAU variety, the CO1, actually it is a variety developed from CPRI, hybrids obtained from Central Potato Research Institute, suitable for cultivation in plains during monsoon season, duration of 110 days with a yield potential of 12 tons per hectare. And the tubers are medium in size. Regarding the soil, the pH almost it is grown in the sandy loam soil is the best for growing potato. The soil pH is very, very important, almost 5.2 to 7. So heavy textured or wet undried soils are unsuitable. And for the pH 5.4 to 7, it causes somewhat rough corky lesions on the tuber. And regarding the pH 5 to 5.2, it is best to control the scab disease, but the yield is low. Whereas the pH of 6 to 6.5, the tuber yield is high, but the scab is problem is more. So that is the reason. As well as the crop of temperate climate. So 20 degrees centigrade is ideal for tuber development. At the time of tuberization, high temperature causes affect the tuberization. Low temperature vegetative growth is restricted. Whereas the freezing point, frost injury occurs. It is grown as a summer crop in hills, whereas winter crop in tropical as well as subtropical regions with a rainfall of 1200 to 2000 millimeter. Next. So the temperature for sprouting and initial vegetative growth 22 to 24 degree, whereas tuberization ideal temperature 18 to 20, whereas the 30 degree it affects the tuberization, and a short days and low temperature accelerate the tuber formation. So it need low temperature. And regarding long days and high temperature also, it causes early vegetative growth. Next. So propagation, it is propagated through seed tubers. So we have to taken the healthy seed tuber. It is very costliest in potato cultivation. Suppose the tubers having dormancy, it will not germinate. So we have to break the dormancy. Almost 40 to 50 gram tuber is ideal for planting. To break the dormancy, 1% thiourea or 1 ppm gibberellic acid solution is break the dormancy. Then the time taken from harvest to sprouting, the dormancy broken by thiourea induces several sprout, as well as the dormancy and the sprouting of tubers controlled by balance of incubating as well as promoting substances. As well as the whole seed is also planted, or we have to cut the small portion with one eye or bud is enough, almost 30 to 40 gram. The smaller size tubers with a chances of decay is occur. The cut tuberous are treated with the carbendazim 0.1% before planting. So the disinfection of knife with the KMNO4 when you cut the tuber. So disinfection of the knife. As well as the cut tubers are cured at 10 to 15 degrees centigrade with a relative humidity of 85 to 90% for 4 to 6 days. And each seed tuber have minimum one eye. More than one eye, one sprouts and others are suppressed. Next. Seed rate, it depends upon the planting duration as well as seed size. Normally 15 to 18 quintals for round cultivars, whereas 20 to 25 quintals per hectare for oval cultivars. Next. So this is also a important techniques in potato, true potato seed. So the true potato seed is nothing but the matured ovule developed in the berry as a result of sexual reproduction. So this TPS techniques is mainly used for developing new potato cultivars. In CPRA Simla, they have released three varieties: HPS 1 bar 13, HPS 11 bar 13, and HPS 24 bar 111 are suitable for TPS production, true potato seed production. So the success depends on the germination percentage, seedling vigor, homogeneity crop population. So the nursery is prepared as in other solanaceous vegetables, and the 30 days old seedlings are transplanted to the main field. Next. So normally the lands are thoroughly plowed 3 to 4 times, and last time of plowing you have to incorporate the farmyard manure. And the season of planting in North Indian hills, third week of February and the second week of April, whereas in the North Indian plains, third week of September to first week of October, whereas in South India, in the hills, February, April and September is the ideal season, whereas in plains during winter, that is November season. Next. So the tubers are planted in shallow furrows, 5 to 7 centimeter deep. And if fine textured soil is there, the depth is somewhat low depth, only 5 centimeter is enough. Irrigation is given immediately after planting. And in plains, plot beds of convenient sites are used. And in hills, the beds are prepared across the slope because of the soil erosion. We have to prepare the bed across the slope. Next. The seed tubers are sometimes sprouted before planting. So taken from cold storage, spread in shade for 7 to 11 days, and it enhances the sprouting and germination, as well as the tubers are treated with chemicals, thiourea or potassium thiocyanate or carbon disulfide to eliminate the dormancy. And the treated tubers are filled in gunny bags and kept well in ventilated rooms for 10 days. Then at the time of planting, it can be also treated with carbendazim at the rate of 0.1%. So regarding the spacing, so it is the inter-row spacing by 45 to 60 centimeter in ridges, whereas the uh, intra-row spacing between the crops 15 to 20 centimeter. So that the ideal tuber for planting is 30 to 40 gram in weight with a 2.5 centimeter diameter, and the spacing, ideal spacing is 45 centimeter between two rows and 20 centimeter between the plants. Regarding the manuring, almost basal 20 tons of farmyard manure, whereas 60, 100 and 120 kg of nitrogen, phosphorus and potash. Whereas in acidic soil is there, the phosphorus is raised from 100 to 240 kgs. So that is very important. And apart from that, the biofertilizers like azospirillum and phosphate solubilizing bacteria 2 kg is given in the basal dressing, as well as the nitrogen 75 kg applied at 35 days after planting. Next. Regarding potato is also somewhat susceptible to the micronutrient deficiency. So we have to apply zinc sulfate and manganese sulfate 20 kg, as well as ferrous and copper sulfate 10 kg, with ammonium molybdate 1 kg, sodium borate 1 kg applied as a basal dose, so that it will be absorbed by the plant and eliminate the micronutrient deficiency. So irrigation immediately after planting, then heavy irrigation, it result in soil crust formation, as well as it hinder the sprout emergence. So once in a week irrigation should be given, whereas the night irrigation should be given in the hillside to avoid the frost damage. As well as drip system as well as sprinkler system also recommended for the potato crop. Next. Regarding weeding, you have to apply the pre-emergence herbicide, nitrofen or aloclar or zimazine at the rate of 1.5 kg active ingredient per hectare, as well as 1 or 2 manual weeding is done on need basis. Manual weeding is followed by earthing up is done before 30th day before tuber formation. So that is very important, so that we have to not expose the tuber to the sunlight. Regarding the plant protection, so nematode is the major problem for potato, so that you have not cultivated potato year after year in the same field. So that application of more quantity of green manures and also rotation with vegetables and application of carbofuran 33 kg per hectare in furrows while seeding, as well as biological control, application of pseudomonas in the before application, but nowadays we have to use Bacillus subtilis at the rate of 10 kg per hectare will control the nematode population. Next. And the potato tuber moth, it can also severe damage to the tuber. So we have to avoid shallow planting. So the planting should be at a depth of 10 to 15 centimeter. As well as in the integrated practices like install pheromone traps and earthing up 60 days after planting to avoid the potato tuber moth egg laying in the exposed tubers, as well as to have foliar spraying of neem seed kernel extract. So 5% or quinal parts at the rate of 2 ml per liter effectively check the potato tuber moth. Next. As well as regarding the diseases, early blight and late blight is the important diseases in potato. It can be controlled by spraying mango sap or chlorothalonil 2 gram per liter 45, 60 and 75 days after planting. Whereas in late blight, sometimes the creepers is also growing along with the potato crop. It is the important source cerevisia for infection, so that we have to eliminate the creepers and spray mango sap 2 gram per liter or chlorothalonil 2 gram 45, 60 and 75 days after planting. As well as you have to grow resistant varieties like Kufri Jyoti, Kufri Malar and Kufri Tangam. So these varieties are resistant to lead blight and we have to use that varieties. So regarding the harvesting symptoms, the same cracking of the soil and yellowing of leaves so that the tubers are dug out along with the harms. The harm is the upper portion above the soil and the harms are storage, the are cut and irrigation is withheld 15 to 20 days ahead of normal harvest. As well as the above portion, the harms are allowed for drying. The skin of the tubers are hardened. Then after that, the tubers are heaped under shade for 20 days, help in further hardening of the skin in the field itself. So the separation of the soil adhering on the tubers. As well as we have to sort out the cut tubers, pest attacked tubers and diseased tubers and almost the yield of 20 to 25 tons per hectare. So next, it is a perishable one so that it need proper storage for eliminating sprouting. So sprouting is a major problem during the storage. So in North India, the tubers are stored more than 2 months under open condition without refrigeration. So normally the tubers are stored at a temperature of 1 to 2.7 degrees centigrade with a relative humidity of 90 to 95%. In the commercial storage godown, almost the temperature 2 to 4 degrees maintained. Both seed and table potatoes are stored. So these are all the important production technology of potato. So both are the tuber crops. One is root tuber as well as another is potato stem tuber. So these are all the some of the questions for your reference. Botanical name of tapioca and in tapioca dash is modified into tubers and mention the two CTCRA varieties of tapioca and in our TNAU variety tapioca the CO3 is the variety resistant to cassava mosaic virus as well as the multiplication ratio of tapioca is 1:60. So that is the mini set technique. And the calorific value of potato 76 to 528 calories. CPRI located in Simla, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh. And the potato resistant to lead blight and high yield that is Kufri Anand is the variety. And the development of new cultivar in potato through TPS technique, true potato seed technique. The ideal weight and the diameter of the tuber for planting is almost 30 to 40 gram with the 2.5 centimeter in diameter. So that's all about the lecture. If any discussion is there, I'm ready to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.